down a hallowed highway on a historic and stunning property in a landmark restaurant standing on a cliff. Sierra Mar executive chef John Cox knows exactly what he wants to do.
I've always had a huge amount of respect for the Post Ranch, and I think my goal as a chef here is to share everything that I possibly can about this unique location with the guests. And part of that is going to extremes that you really shouldn't have to go to, like finding the acorn flour, finding the kamochi kombu, finding all these different sources for the red abalone and the different seaweeds. It's, if you could go to the supermarket and just grab the stuff, it wouldn't be as special. On its, an elemental level, it's about feeding people, but really when you get to the level of Sierra Mar and Post Ranch, it's about telling a story. So each of those ingredients helps us convey what we're trying to have the guest experience. So
another one of his goals, taking his diners into nature, which is precisely where he took us. He says his new passion is finding every possible use for an ingredient. With the bay laurel, he's plucking juvenile leaves to flavor broths, using the oily berries like baby avocados, and even toasting the seeds off like chocolate. He's finding the bright green new sequoia growth to use in an oil over Charlie Casio cheeses and delicate foraged redwood strawberries.
So this miner's lettuce is actually what the Ohlone Indians would put outside the red anthills, and when they walked across it, they'd leave trails of formic acid, which would essentially season the greens while they were out foraging for other items. So we kind of play tribute to that with a little bit of red ant vinaigrette on top of the miner's lettuce for our 9-course tasting menu. It's just kind of a fun, throwback to the history of the property.
He's gotten so into the coriander plant that he's using its cilantro leaves, dried seeds like traditional coriander, plus the fresh juicy ones, and the root his suppliers didn't even know was usable in food.
So local avocado with Monterey king salmon, a peeled avocado that's been filled with a king salmon tartare, a little bit of toasted guajillo chili oil, and black sea salt. My sous chef was doing an octopus dish where we charred a little slice of avocado, and I said, wow, what if we just took the whole avocado, took out the pit, so you just had a ½ inch of avocado all the way around, and then burnt it, so it looks like it was the whole avocado just sitting there. We were getting in these spot prawns, and the spot prawns are amazing, but it's always, how do you use them? How do you really respect this product? And I liked the idea of really infusing them at the table. So we have the raw prawn head, and we have Thai aromatics. So mint, basil, cilantro, shallots, lemongrass, ginger, Thai chilies, a little bit of fresh lime juice. That all goes into this upper chamber, and we've made a very simple stock using the shells from the prawns. The stock from the prawns goes into the upper chamber, and it steeps all these flavors. We let it sit up there for just a second, and then it's going to drop back down. You see that bubbling right there? That's the air from the upper chamber being sucked down through the aromatics and into the broth. All we do is we pour the consomme, or the broth rather, over the raw prawn. The 2 different types of oxalis, the tiny onions, the Monterey sea salt, a little bit of fennel, just until it covers it. And then we tell the guest to wait about 45 seconds.
The real story, as Cox completes his first year as executive chef at Sierra Mar, as his dream team of gardeners and chefs gels, and as his intimacies with local ingredients only deepens, he will be a revelation and a breakout star befitting the grandeur of a wild and soulful place like Big Sur.